You've got mail. Howdy guys, how's it going? Continuing our Shire little terrain sort of theme, we're going to make a mailbox. The Shire is actually, believe it or not, renowned for mail delivery. It's quite famous for it in Middle Earth. In fact, I think it's like the sheriff's main duty. So we're going to make a mailbox. You can see one outside Bag End quite clearly in the movies, and you can see pictures of it here. So that's what we're going to make. Probably due to its size, won't be able to get as much detail in that, but we'll do our best. This is going to be made out of quarter-inch balsa dowel, a wooden rod. It's about a quarter-inch diameter, circumference, diameter, whatever. A paperclip, and we'll need some pliers to cut the paperclip, and we're going to use some glue, and we're going to base it on a bit of cardboard. This is actually seems quite small, but it can be quite tricky to get the detail on the sort of the handle and the edges. So I'm going to give it 2. You've got to have a bit of a steady hand. You might be able to find it easier. So yeah, let's get making some Hobbit mailboxes. For the mailbox, we're going to take a length of wooden dowel that's about half inch wide, roughly. What we're going to do is we're going to come down and it's probably just less than ½ inch, but come down and measure a ½ inch mark, and just going to draw a line, and then I'm going to saw through this. You won't probably, because of this dowel, it's quite a wooden dowel, quite thick, quite heavy wood, quite butch wood. You're not going to be able to cut through it with your craft knife, so you have to saw through it. Once it's sawn through, I'm going to get a file, and I'm just going to file the ends off where I've cut, just to smooth them out, and also just use the file just to bevel the ends in ever so slightly. Not too much, just ever so slightly. Then I'm going to come along with this sculpting tool. You could get away with using a craft knife for this, and I'm just going to put lines down all around it, just lightly spaced out, so it looks like it's a sort of a nice wooden effect into it, like it's been made from individual bits of wood. Next, going to get some balsa wood dowel, 1/4 inch thickness, and just measure about ½ inch long, and cut it much the same that was done with the fence posts. So they come through and cut through in multiple fine cuts rather than one thick one, and then rotate it round. When you feel it bite, you'll feel the wood bite, and cut round the other side. And then, as you can see there, you don't even have to really do all 4 sides, it will just pop out after a while. And again, I'm just going to give this a file just to smooth out the cut a bit, to make it flatter for when you come to glue it. Now it's going to attach here, but as you can see, it doesn't sit right, so I'm going to get a rounded file, and on one end just going to file through just to get a little groove in the top, like so. And so now when you offer it up, it just rests in there nicer, so it'll be a better bond. Next up, going to grab a paper clip and straighten it out a little bit, and then taking some pliers, I'm just going to bend a little bit over at the end, and then I'm going to come through and try and do the same on the other side. And then once I've done that, I'm going to cut it so it's about the same size as the opposite side. Now I'm at this stage, I can use the pliers and just try and bend the 2 corner bits over a bit more. Just put it in the end of the pliers and push down a little bit. And what that's going to be is that's going to be the handle that goes at the end of the mailbox, so I guess that opens it up. Next, I'm going to cut 2 short pieces, probably about 1/4 of an inch, I would say, of paperclip. And these are just going to be for decorative purposes, just to add a bit of interest to the piece. And that is all the bits we're going to need, except for a base, which I've made from thick chipboard, 3mm thick. I think it's 3mm thick chipboard. No, not 3mm. 1mm thick chipboard. And this is going to be about an inch by an inch. You might want to make yours curved. I've made one square because I'm going to cover it in. I might cut it later on. Who knows? If you see it curved later on, you'll know I've cut it. But for now, I'm just going to do it. For this, I'm not going to use hot glue gun. I'm going to glue it using PVA because it's wood and card, and it will be a stronger bond. Might take a bit longer to dry, but I don't mind that. Next, I'm going to glue the little bits of paperclip I've cut out. They're going to be decorative. I've zoomed in a bit so you'll see a bit better. I've got a blob of PVA on a bit of card, a bit of scrap card, and using some tweezers, I've picked the paperclip up, covered the ends in the glue, and I'm just putting it in place. It's going to go either side of the mailbox underneath, and then I'm going to do the second bit on the other side. Next, going to grab our little handle and likewise use the tweezers just to put it in the glue, and then we're just going to stick this in the end of the mailbox and put it in place, and then just a bit of glue underneath and glue it to the base. Oh, you won't need to hold it in place because it should just stay there, and leave that to dry. And this is how it looks. All dried now. What we're going to do is, I won't show you this on camera, there's only so many times you can see something undercoated in black, but I'm going to undercoat this in black and get ready for some colour to be put on it. We've got this undercoated in Rhinox hide now, just all over apart from the metal bits, which I've tried to leave as black as possible, but we'll go over them. But now if you look at the picture here, I wanted to try and get that colour where it's got this lovely, in the middle, this lovely sort of patinaed wood. I think for that we're going to use Morfang Brown. So just get a small dry brush. This one's really old. Just get some Morfang Brown on your brush, and just in this, how close do I have to? In this middle bit here, just come and go around the barrel bit, leaving the edges dark like that. I hope you can see that. Yeah, that's it. A bit more on that plank there, and then just on the tops edges of the wood, it looks like there's a bit of patina there, so we're just gonna do that, and then we're gonna dry brush I think it's carrot stone over all of it, just to give the worn, weathered look of the wood. Hopefully that should, you can just sort of see, just giving them that patina in the wood there. Yeah. So here we go. We've got this looking lovely. I'm going to get some carrot stone. This is the old version of it called Commando Khaki. Get some on the dry brush, and I'm just going to go rub as much off as possible. I'm just going to start on the end here. See if I can see when I zoom. I'm going to come in, just do the post, particularly the edges. I want to pick those out in it really, and just give the whole post a little. There you go, so that's lovely and weathered now. All I want to do now is repaint the black. Okay, black going on. Just want to, I might need a bit more on my brush than that. Just want to go over it. On the picture we're basing this on, there is some fleur-de-lis here. Let's have a go. Let's be brave, eh? I couldn't model them. I've been thinking, how am I going to model them? So I think we're just going to try and paint them. So forgive me, I'm going to try and do this on camera. So we're going to put a little line down there. Something like that. Going underneath. Yeah, I like that. It's just added that, taking it to the next level. So there we go. We've got everything now. Can you see that? Handle. That's little fleur-de-lis. Right. Get flocking and doing something with the bottom now. It's flocking time. No secret to this. Bit of glue. Water it down ever so slightly. Flock of choice. Mine's Woodland Scenics Green Blend. Just paint it on the base, and you can probably hold it up here to make it easier. Make sure you cover the edges, and just dip in your flock. Tap off any excess. I'll leave that to dry. For now, we're going to add some probably clump foliage and maybe a bit longer static grass, perhaps a bit of dead static grass just round the edge in here. But you need to let that go off first, otherwise you'll just end up with flock on your brush. Next up, after this level of flock, I just want to add some, more rough patches where the grass wouldn't have been quite cut underneath there. So for this, I think I'm going to use a mixture of sort of coarse turf, medium green, maybe a bit of burnt grass, static grass. Yeah, I'm just going to see. So, in with, I'm just going to, just with both, just pour some out into the lid. So, like so. Then, I'm going to get some glue. And I'm just going to, using my glue brush, just going to sort of paint it on so where it needs to go, paying particular attention to around the base. Oh, massive blob there. Really around the base. And just sort of dab it in wherever you want. Something else go, maybe the corners here. Yeah, that'll do. Something like that. Yeah, just going to come in. Bit of this coarse turf. Sprinkle in, dab down. No right or wrong way of doing this really at this stage. A bit of static grass on here. Burnt stuff. Really just getting it so it just doesn't look like it's just been lovely cut grass underneath it. So hopefully you can see that on the camera. Yeah. There you go. I like that. That is great. Just let that dry. Right, so now we're going to make the birdhouse. You can see this in the photo here. It's a bag end, but you can have it all over the Shire. What we're going to make it out of is this dowel. Again, same dowel we used to make the mailbox. Come in. It's about just over a quarter of an inch really, and I've put a mark here, and we're just going to cut it much the same as we did for the mailbox. And there it is, all cut. Next, going to get a king vise. And just on the front here, let's see, I'm just anywhere here, just gonna lightly drill a hole. Probably make it a bit bigger later on with a sculpting tool, but just gonna drill in, which I'll do now. Okay, there it is. This is where the birds would go in and out, and I'm just gonna, with a sculpting tool, just into the pilot hole, just gonna widen it up slightly, like so. Then underneath, going to do the same, just drill a hole, and this is for the actual stand going to go up. So I'm just going underneath. Next up, we're going to make the stand just out of barbecue skewers. Got these from Amazon, so there'll be a link in the description. If I remember. Terrible at that. What you want to do is, I'm going to use the pointy end. I'm going to use the pointy end. I'm just going to use the pliers, going to snip off the point a bit, not too much because that'll do. And then I'm going to make it inch and a quarter. Really, there's no real way of defining it, but I'm going to come in with the pliers and just snip off here. So put this to one side because we'll be using these bits in a future video. And what we should do is, I need a bit more off the end, off the point here. Yeah, that's it. So just going to go. That's going to sit in the hole. So already without glue, it's holding it in place. But we're just going to put a bit of glue in there. Because I want a good fix on it. There we go. Allow that to dry. I'm going to do the base now. It's made from medium chipboard. There's a link where you can buy packs of these. Really great for basing, so I'd recommend people just having them in their supplies already. This is a little offcut, so great for that. But if you don't, this is just, you can get these on the back of like blank paper binders. Now we get sheets of black paper, lined paper. Again, just gonna drill a hole into it, a little pilot hole, just so it gives our cocktail barbecue stick something to stick onto. You can go all the way through, and then just gonna come in and widen it up because you want the barbecue skewer to actually go all the way through and sit in there. And then what you're going to want to do is just sort of tidy where it's pushed through that bit there. And what you can do is, while that's drying, just take your skewer in and just see how it goes. And that is great. So next up, we're going to attach the house into our hole. Let's do that. So it's already, again, because of the hole, it's already resting in there, but a bit more glue. Put it in there and allow this to dry before the next stage, or at least begin to dry. Make sure it's flush. It's through the hole, but it's flush with the bottom as well. It's not poking out, so it sits comfortably. But yeah, allow this to dry for a bit for the next stage. We're going to be pulling around the top of it, so it won't take that long. 10 or so minutes, give it drying time with this glue. Cool. I'll put that to one side. Next up, just going to make the little top bit on the house. For this, I'm going to use Milliput, but you can use any sort of putty if you want. Even green stuff. I dare say most people are more likely to have green stuff than this, but I like using this for terrain projects, so I don't need as much detail. Much like green stuff, it comes in two parts. This is white Milliput, so they're both pretty much white. But what we're going to do is take a blob of one, blob of the other, and we're just going to out of the way for now. Mix some millipart. So the next, just gonna get, I don't know, a little blob like that. Up to your size. Roll it into a circle as best possible, and then make it a sort of semicircle. I think that's going to be, yeah, it's going to be adequate enough. There's no sizes here. It's just whatever looks good for your birdhouse you've made. I'm just going to put it here for now. It might need to, when it dries, to be glued on, but for now, you put it on like so. It probably will need to be glued on when it's dried, but anything it's not sticking to is where I want it to. And all we're going to do, a bit of a sculpting tool, wet the end. It's a little tip if you don't want it to stick in. And we're just going to come in and do a little sort of thatch pattern on it. Nothing too fancy. Little sort of thatch pattern how it's going to come in. Spin it round. Alright, so and that's it for this. I'm gonna get it at least even on, sitting on there properly, but that'll do for now. And then it looks like it's got, looking at the picture, it's just got a little bobble on top. Again, it's just going to be made from millipart. Little circle, that sort of size. Come on. Just put it on top. So push it down a little bit. Like so. Looks somewhat like the picture. What I'm going to do is going to carry on just doing the thatch sort of grass top bit, whatever material is. But yeah, that is it for it pretty much. So we're going to get on with the painting of it now. I've made a start. I've painted the wood the same as all the other woodwork we've done so far in this series, such as the mailboxes and the fence. It's just Rhinoxide dry brushed with Carrick stone. But now I want this to be sort of straw-like, but weathered straw. So I'm going to come in with some oh god, it would help if I could speak today, wouldn't it? Bane Blade Brown. Oh, it's been a long day at work today. Alright, so I'm just going to come in, small dry brush, quite heavy, not too fussed if it goes, covers up a lot of the undercoat. Now that that's dry, next layer is going to be talon sand. Again, bit of a dry brush, not too bad. Not too bad, not too much. Just working from going down, going up. Get a sort of straw-like effect going on. So it's yellowish, but not bright yellow. Bubble on top. And the underneath. So, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. Now what we're going to do is we're effectively just going to flock it how we did the mailbox. And I'll show you when it's done. all I've done now is base it in the same way as the mailboxes. So you got that there, and our little mailbox. And that's it. What I'm going to do is won't do a showcase until the end of this series, once all the other bits are done, and we'll do put it all together and do a big showcase then. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button and leave a comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Stick with the channel for many great videos to come.